Imagine, if you will, a convergence of minds so luminous they could illuminate an entire epoch. What happens when the sharpest poets, the most insightful scientists, and the most profound scholars of an era are drawn together, not by chance but by the vision of a single ruler? This isn't a flight of fancy, it's the story of the Navaratnas, the 9 gems of Vikramaditya's court, a constellation of human intellect that continues to inspire awe. Vikramaditya, a legendary monarch whose name resonates through the corridors of Indian history, often associated with the ancient city of Ujjain, was far more than a formidable warrior king. He was a cultural architect, a patron of the arts and sciences whose foresight cultivated an environment where genius could flourish. His reign, thought to have occurred around the 1st century BCE, is shrouded in the mists of myth and legend. Yet the incandescent brilliance of his 9 chosen scholars cuts through the ages, their contributions indelibly etched into India's rich literary and scientific tradition, a testament to a golden age of inquiry. These Navaratnas were no mere courtiers or advisors in the conventional sense. They were titans of thought, polymaths whose intellectual curiosity knew no bounds, pioneers who charted new territories in human understanding. Each was a master of a unique domain, their expertise spanning the lyrical beauty of poetry, the healing wisdom of medicine, the cosmic dance of astronomy, and the foundational structures of grammar. Together, these 9 luminaries transformed Vikramaditya's court into an unparalleled epicenter of ancient innovation, a beacon of knowledge whose light still reaches us today. In this journey, we'll uncover the identities of these remarkable individuals, explore the depths of their achievements, and understand why their monumental work continues to echo through India's intellectual legacy, shaping thought and culture across millennia. Our journey into this remarkable assembly begins with a name that evokes the very essence of poetic grandeur, Kalidasa. Often hailed as India's greatest poet and playwright, his words wove tapestries of human emotion, natural beauty, and profound philosophical insights. To speak of Kalidasa is to speak of a mastery over the Sanskrit language so complete, so sublime, that his verses seem to resonate with the timeless rhythms of the universe itself. He didn't just write poetry, he breathed life into characters and landscapes, creating worlds that audiences, even centuries later, could step into and experience with visceral intensity. His legacy is not merely literary, it's a cultural touchstone, a benchmark against which poetic excellence is often measured. Consider his masterpieces, works like And In, The Tale of Shakuntala, and King Dushyanta. Kalidasa explores the complexities of love, memory, and fate with a delicate yet powerful touch. The play transcends mere romance. It delves into the human condition, the interplay of duty and desire, and the profound connection between humanity and the natural world. Then there's The Cloud Messenger, a lyrical gem, where a banished yaksha implores a passing cloud to carry a message to his beloved. This poem is a breathtaking symphony of longing, a vivid portrayal of India's diverse landscape seen through the eyes of a celestial messenger, each verse dripping with poignant emotion and exquisite imagery. The impact of Kalidasa's work during his time, and indeed in the centuries that followed, was monumental. He refined and elevated Sanskrit drama and poetry to unprecedented heights, setting a standard for literary expression that would inspire generations of writers and poets across the Indian subcontinent and beyond. His ability to capture the subtle nuances of human feeling, the majesty of nature, and the intricate tapestry of relationships resonated deeply within the cultural consciousness. His plays were not just entertainment for the royal court, they were reflections on life, ethics, and the cosmos, sparking contemplation and discussion, enriching the intellectual and artistic environment fostered by Vikramaditya. When we examine Kalidasa's creations, we find more than just beautiful language. We find a profound understanding of the interconnectedness of all things. Nature in his works is not a mere backdrop, but an active participant, a silent witness, often a source of solace or a catalyst for human emotion. This ecological sensibility, this deep reverence for the natural world feels remarkably prescient. His exploration of love is not confined to the romantic. It encompasses compassion, duty, and spiritual yearning. It is this holistic vision, this ability to weave together the personal and the universal, that has earned him comparisons to literary giants like Shakespeare, a testament to the universality of his themes and the enduring power of his art. The echoes of Kalidasa's genius are still palpable today. His works continue to be studied, translated, and adapted, captivating new audiences with their timeless appeal. Scholars delve into the linguistic intricacies of his Sanskrit, while artists find inspiration in his vivid characters and narratives. The themes he explored, love in its myriad forms, the beauty and fragility of the natural world, the search for meaning in a complex universe, remain profoundly relevant to our modern lives. He reminds us that great art transcends the boundaries of time and culture, speaking directly to the core of human experience, offering insights that are as fresh and vital now as they were 2 millennia ago. One might wonder, gazing back through the mists of time, about the mind that could conjure such beauty and wisdom. What were the sources of Kalidasa's inspiration? How did he perceive the world around him to translate it into such immortal verse? His presence in Vikramaditya's court suggests an environment that not only valued but actively nurtured such profound artistic expression. Kalidasa, the servant of Kali, stands as a luminous gem, reflecting the highest aspirations of human creativity, a poet whose voice continues to sing across the ages, inviting us to listen and to feel deeply. From the realm of poetic expression, we now turn our gaze skyward and inward to explore the multifaceted genius of Varahamihira. He was an intellectual colossus, a polymath whose interests spanned the vastness of the cosmos and the intricacies of earthly existence. In an age where specialization was less common, Varahamihira embodied the spirit of holistic inquiry, seeking to understand the universe and our place within it through a multitude of lenses. His mind was a veritable observatory, cataloguing celestial movements, interpreting their supposed influences, and connecting them to the rhythms of life on Earth. He was a true synthesizer of knowledge, drawing from various traditions and his own keen observations. His magnum opus, stands as a monumental encyclopedia of ancient Indian knowledge, a testament to the breadth of his intellect. This isn't just a dry compilation of facts, it's a vibrant tapestry woven from threads of astronomy, astrology, meteorology, architecture, agriculture, mathematics, gemology, and even perfumery and marital relations. Imagine a single mind capable of discoursing with authority on the movements of planets, the prediction of rainfall, the ideal construction of temples and homes, the properties of precious stones, and the subtle art of creating fragrances. He offers a panoramic view of the world as understood in his time, a comprehensive guide to living in harmony with cosmic and terrestrial forces. The influence of Varahamihira's work was profound and far-reaching. His astronomical calculations and observations, documented in works like which summarized 5 major astronomical schools of thought, were crucial for timekeeping, navigation, and religious observances. His insights into weather patterns, though often couched in astrological terms, represented early attempts at scientific forecasting, vital for an agrarian society. Architects and builders consulted his principles for constructing stable and auspicious structures. Even his writings on gemology, detailing the characteristics and supposed virtues of various stones, influenced trade and personal adornment. He provided a framework for understanding and interacting with the world that was both practical and deeply philosophical. Varahamihira's approach demonstrates a fascinating interplay between empirical observation and metaphysical interpretation, a characteristic of much ancient science. While his astrology might be viewed differently through a modern scientific lens, his meticulous recording of celestial phenomena and his attempts to find patterns and correlations were steps along the path of scientific inquiry. He sought order in the apparent chaos of the cosmos and the unpredictability of earthly events. His work reflects a deep-seated human desire to comprehend the universe, to find our place within its grand design, and to use that understanding to improve our lives. He wasn't just observing, he was seeking meaning and connection. Even today, Varahamihira's contributions command respect. Historians of science study his texts to understand the development of astronomy and mathematics in ancient India. His architectural principles, particularly those related to Vastu Shastra, continued to influence building design for some. Beyond specific applications, his enduring legacy lies in his holistic vision, the idea that all branches of knowledge are interconnected, that the macrocosm of the universe is reflected in the microcosm of human life. He reminds us that the pursuit of knowledge, in its broadest sense, is a quest for wisdom, a way to navigate the complexities of existence with greater awareness and understanding. Contemplating Varahamihira, one is struck by the sheer audacity of his intellectual ambition. To attempt to synthesize such a vast array of subjects, to seek the underlying principles that govern both stars and societies, speaks of a mind unconstrained by conventional boundaries. In Vikramaditya's court, he must have been a towering figure, a source of knowledge and counsel on matters ranging from the celestial to the most mundane. Varahamihira, the Cosmic Cartographer, charted not only the heavens, but also the diverse landscapes of human knowledge, leaving behind a map that still guides and inspires inquiry. Let us now delve into the world of words, the very foundation of thought and communication, through the contributions of Amarasimha. In an era teeming with philosophical discourse, poetic expression, and scientific inquiry, the need for a precise and comprehensive understanding of language was paramount. Amarasimha rose to this challenge not merely as a compiler of words, but as an architect of vocabulary, a scholar who brought order and elegance to the vast lexicon of Sanskrit. His work stands as a testament to the profound respect for language that characterized ancient Indian intellectual traditions, recognizing it as a key to unlocking deeper understanding. Amarasimha's enduring legacy is primarily enshrined in his monumental work, which translates to Amara's Treasury or Immortal Treasury. This isn't just any dictionary. It is one of the oldest and most revered Sanskrit thesauruses, a meticulously organized compendium of words arranged by concept and synonym. Imagine the intellectual effort required to categorize and define thousands of terms, to capture the subtle shades of meaning, and to present them in a way that was both accessible and memorable. It is composed in verse, a remarkable feat that aided in its memorization and dissemination, transforming a scholarly tool into a work of literary art in its own right. The impact of on Sanskrit literature, scholarship, and education was immense and transformative. For centuries, it served as the standard lexicographical resource, an indispensable guide for poets seeking the perfect turn of phrase, for scholars deciphering complex texts, and for students embarking on their journey into the rich world of Sanskrit. By systematizing vocabulary and providing a clear framework of synonyms and related terms, Amarasimha facilitated a more nuanced and sophisticated use of the language. His work helped to standardize terminology across various disciplines, fostering clarity and precision in intellectual discourse, thereby strengthening the very fabric of communication within the learned circles of his time and beyond. What truly sets the apart is its unique blend of scholarly rigor and poetic sensibility. It's not merely a list of words, it's a structured universe of concepts where words are grouped thematically: heavens, earth, time, human beings, animals, plants, and so on. This thematic organization reflects a sophisticated understanding of the interconnectedness of knowledge and experience. The use of verse for its composition not only made it easier to learn, but also imbued the act of studying vocabulary with a certain aesthetic pleasure. Amarasimha demonstrated that even the most systematic and analytical of tasks could be approached with artistry and elegance, transforming a utilitarian tool into a source of intellectual delight. The influence of Amarasimha's thesaurus extends far beyond the confines of ancient India. It became a model for lexicographical works in other Indian languages, and even influenced similar endeavors in other cultures that came into contact with Indian scholarship. The very concept of a thesaurus, a tool that groups words by meaning rather than just alphabetically, owes a debt to pioneers like Amarasimha. His meticulous work in preserving and organizing the Sanskrit lexicon has been crucial for our ability to access and understand the vast corpus of ancient Indian texts, from sacred scriptures to scientific treatises and epic poems. He provided a key, a Rosetta Stone of sorts, for unlocking the wisdom of the past. As we reflect on Amarasimha's contribution, we are reminded of the fundamental importance of language as the vessel of culture, knowledge, and human connection. In a court as intellectually vibrant as Vikramaditya's, filled with poets, scientists, and philosophers, a masterful understanding of language, its nuances, and its potential was indispensable. Amarasimha, with his immortal treasury of words, provided the tools for these other great minds to express their ideas with precision, clarity, and beauty. He was the silent enabler, the meticulous craftsman who polished the very gems of thought that emanated from that remarkable assembly, ensuring their brilliance would shine undiminished through the ages. Chapter 4. Dhanvantari, the architect of well-being. We now transition from the world of words and stars to the vital realm of human health and well-being, guided by the wisdom of Dhanvantari. Revered in Indian tradition as the physician of the gods and the progenitor of Ayurveda, Dhanvantari's presence among the Navaratnas signifies the profound importance accorded to medical science in Vikramaditya's court. His name is synonymous with healing, with a holistic approach to health that encompasses not just the treatment of disease, but the promotion of a balanced and vibrant life. He represents an ancient understanding that the body, mind, and spirit are intricately connected, a concept that resonates powerfully even today. Dhanvantari is credited with pioneering and codifying many principles of Ayurveda, the science of life. This ancient system of medicine is not merely about prescribing remedies. It's a comprehensive philosophy of living. He emphasized the critical role of preventive medicine, understanding that maintaining health is far more effective than merely combating illness after it arises. This involved advocating for balanced diets, appropriate daily routines, seasonal regimens, and the cultivation of a harmonious lifestyle. His teachings stressed the importance of understanding one's individual constitution and living in accordance with its unique needs, a personalized approach to wellness that was remarkably advanced for its time. The impact of Dhanvantari's teachings and the system of Ayurveda he championed was transformative for the health and well-being of the populace. His knowledge encompassed a vast pharmacopoeia of medicinal plants and herbal formulations, carefully documented for their therapeutic properties. Beyond herbal remedies, Ayurveda, as attributed to figures like Dhanvantari, also included sophisticated diagnostic methods, principles of detoxification and rejuvenation, and even surgical techniques. An ancient text often associated with a disciple of Dhanvantari or Dhanvantari himself details complex surgical procedures including plastic surgery, cataract surgery, and the setting of fractures, showcasing a remarkable level of medical advancement. The philosophy underpinning Dhanvantari's approach was deeply rooted in the observation of nature and the interconnectedness of all life. Ayurveda views the human body as a microcosm of the universe, composed of the same 5 fundamental elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Health is seen as a state of equilibrium among these elements and the body's 3 vital energies or doshas. Disease, conversely, arises from an imbalance. This holistic perspective, which considers diet, lifestyle, environment, and mental state as integral to health, offers a profound contrast to purely symptomatic treatments, aiming instead to restore fundamental balance within the individual. Even in our modern era of high-tech medicine, the wisdom attributed to Dhanvantari and enshrined in Ayurveda continues to offer valuable insights. The emphasis on preventive care, personalized medicine, natural remedies, and the mind-body connection is increasingly recognized by contemporary health science. Millions around the world turn to Ayurvedic practices for managing chronic conditions, reducing stress, and enhancing overall vitality. The principles of balanced living and harmony with nature advocated by Dhanvantari are perhaps more relevant than ever in our fast-paced, often disconnected world, reminding us of an ancient path to sustainable well-being. To have Dhanvantari, the fountainhead of Ayurvedic wisdom, as a gem in Vikramaditya's court underscores a profound societal commitment to health and longevity. It suggests a ruler who understood that the strength of his kingdom lay not just in its armies or its wealth, but in the vitality of its people. Dhanvantari's legacy is not just a collection of medical treatises, it's a living tradition, a timeless guide to cultivating a life of health, balance, and inner harmony, a beacon of healing wisdom that continues to illuminate the path to well-being across the centuries. His presence ensured that the pursuit of knowledge within the court was not just an intellectual exercise, but one grounded in the fundamental well-being of humanity. Chapter 5, Vararuchi, the Guardian of Grammar. Our exploration now leads us to another master of language, but from a different perspective than the lexicographer Amarasimha. We turn to Vararuchi, a pivotal figure in the science of grammar, whose contributions were essential for preserving the purity, structure, and intelligibility of Sanskrit, the lingua franca of scholarship and sacred texts in ancient India. In a world where knowledge was often transmitted orally before being painstakingly inscribed, the precision of language was not merely an academic concern but a vital necessity for accurate communication and the faithful preservation of wisdom across generations. Vararuchi stands as a guardian of this linguistic integrity. Vararuchi is particularly renowned for his work, considered the oldest and most important grammar of the Prakrit languages. While Sanskrit was the language of the elite and of scholarly discourse, Prakrits were the vernaculars, the languages spoken by the common people in various regions. Vararuchi's genius lay in his ability to analyze and codify these spoken dialects, providing a systematic understanding of their phonetic structures, grammatical rules, and their relationship to Sanskrit. This was a monumental task, akin to mapping the complex linguistic landscape of a diverse subcontinent, and it demonstrated a keen ear for linguistic nuance and a profound analytical mind. The significance of Vararuchi's grammatical work, especially concerning Prakrits, cannot be overstated. By providing a formal grammar for these vernaculars, he legitimized them as subjects of scholarly study and facilitated their use in literature. Many important Jain and Buddhist texts, as well as secular dramas and poems, were composed in Prakrit. Vararuchi's grammar provided a framework for understanding these texts, ensuring their accurate interpretation and transmission. Furthermore, his work on the relationship between Sanskrit and Prakrit illuminated the processes of linguistic evolution, offering insights into how languages change and diversify over time, a foundational concept in historical linguistics. Beyond, Vararuchi is also credited with contributions to Sanskrit grammar and phonetics. His meticulous analysis of sound systems, word formation, and sentence structure helped to refine the understanding and application of grammatical principles laid down by earlier masters like Panini. In an oral tradition, precise pronunciation and correct grammatical construction were crucial for the efficacy of mantras, the clarity of philosophical arguments, and the beauty of poetic recitations. Vararuchi's work ensured that the intricate machinery of language functioned smoothly, allowing for the seamless flow of complex ideas and artistic expressions within Vikramaditya's court and beyond. The legacy of grammarians like Vararuchi is subtle yet pervasive. While poets and philosophers create the content, it is the grammarians who ensure the clarity and stability of the medium itself. Without their painstaking work, languages can drift, meanings can become obscure, and the wisdom of the past can be lost or misinterpreted. Vararuchi's contributions helped to anchor Sanskrit and Prakrit, providing a stable foundation upon which literary and intellectual edifices could be built. His work is a testament to the idea that even the seemingly arcane study of grammar is essential for the flourishing of a sophisticated culture. Imagine the intellectual ferment in Vikramaditya's court debates on philosophy, recitations of epic poetry, discussions of scientific theories. In such an environment, the clarity and precision afforded by a deep understanding of grammar as championed by Vararuchi would have been indispensable. He was, in a sense, the engineer of discourse, ensuring that the tools of communication were sharp and reliable. Vararuchi's dedication to the science of language reminds us that the structure of our words shapes the structure of our thoughts, and that a profound understanding of grammar is key to unlocking the full potential of human expression and intellectual exploration. Chapter 6, Ghatakapara, the poet of earthen vessels and devotion. We now return to the realm of poetry, but with a distinct flavor as we encounter Ghatakapara. While Kalidasa's canvas was vast, encompassing grand epics and intricate dramas, Ghatakapara is celebrated for a more focused yet equally intense form of poetic expression. His name itself, potsherd, is intriguing and perhaps hints at a humility or a connection to everyday life, yet his verses are known for their emotional depth, lyrical beauty, and often a profound devotional sentiment. He represents a strand of poetic tradition that finds the universal in the particular, the divine in the mundane. Ghatotkarpara is primarily known for a single short poem, also titled a work of just 22 stanzas. However, the brevity of this poem belies its artistic merit and its emotional power. It is often described as a poem characterized by the sophisticated use of a type of alliteration or repetition of syllables or words with different meanings, showcasing immense technical skill in handling the Sanskrit language. This poem typically depicts the sorrow of a wife separated from her husband, a theme common in Indian literature but rendered by Ghatotkarpara with exquisite pathos and intricate wordplay. The impact of even such a concise work, if crafted with mastery, could be significant within the discerning audience of Vikramaditya's court. The technical brilliance of the would have been appreciated by fellow scholars and poets, demonstrating a command over the nuances of Sanskrit that was both playful and profound. Beyond the technical skill, the poem's ability to evoke deep emotion, the longing, the sorrow, the hope for reunion would have resonated with the human experience. In a court that valued artistic excellence, Ghatotkarpara's contribution, though perhaps smaller in scale than others, would have been recognized for its polished perfection and its capacity to stir the heart. Many traditions also associate Ghatotkarpara with works of a more devotional nature, verses that blended spiritual insight with lyrical storytelling. This aspect of his poetry would have catered to the spiritual and philosophical inclinations prevalent in ancient Indian society, and likely within the court itself. The ability to convey complex spiritual ideas or deep feelings of devotion through the concise and evocative medium of poetry was a highly valued skill. Such verses could serve as objects of meditation, sources of comfort, or expressions of collective faith, enriching the spiritual life of those who encountered them. He showed that profound truths could be found not just in lengthy treatises, but in the distilled essence of a perfectly crafted verse. The legacy of Ghatotkarpara, though perhaps less voluminous than some of his peers among the Navaratnas, lies in the demonstration of poetic intensity and technical skill. He reminds us that impact is not always measured by quantity, but by quality and the depth of resonance. His work, particularly Thee, has been studied for its linguistic artistry and its emotional acuity for centuries. He represents the poet as a craftsman, meticulously shaping each word and phrase to achieve a precise effect, proving that even within a small vessel like a potsherd or a short poem, great beauty and meaning can be contained. Contemplating Ghatotkarpara, one is drawn to the idea of focused brilliance. In a constellation of stars, some may be supernovas, while others are like perfectly cut diamonds, small yet dazzling with concentrated light. His presence in Vikramaditya's court suggests an appreciation for diverse forms of literary excellence, from the epic to the miniature. Ghatotkarpara's poetry, with its blend of emotional depth and technical virtuosity, adds another unique facet to the radiant collective of the Navaratnas, a testament to the power of concise and artful expression to touch the human soul and endure through time. Our intellectual voyage now takes us into the realm of applied mathematics and spatial reasoning, guided by the figure of Shanku. While his name might not be as widely recognized today as some of the literary or astronomical giants among the Navaratnas, Shanku's expertise in geometry, measurement, and architecture played a crucial practical role in shaping the physical world of his time. He represents the vital connection between abstract mathematical principles and their tangible application in creating structures, organizing spaces, and perhaps even defining territories. His work was foundational to the aesthetics and functionality of the built environment. Shanku, sometimes referred to as Shunku, Sanku in Sanskrit texts, which can also mean a gnomon or a stake, is believed to have been a master of or related geometrical knowledge. There are ancient texts detailing rules for the construction of sacrificial altars, requiring precise geometric constructions using ropes and stakes. Shanku's expertise would have extended these principles to broader architectural applications, ensuring that buildings were not only aesthetically pleasing, but also structurally sound and correctly oriented according to prevailing cosmological or ritualistic beliefs of the era. The impact of Shanku's knowledge would have been visible in the very fabric of Vikramaditya's kingdom. His understanding of geometry would have been indispensable in the design and construction of majestic temples, grand palaces, public buildings, and perhaps even urban planning initiatives. The precise layout of foundations, the accurate calculation of angles and proportions, the harmonious arrangement of spaces, all these would have fallen under his purview or influence in an age where monumental architecture was a symbol of royal power and cultural achievement. An expert like Shanku would have been an invaluable asset, translating the king's vision into enduring physical structures. Beyond grand edifices, Shanku's skills in measurement and geometry likely extended to practical matters such as land surveying. Accurate demarcation of property boundaries, efficient layout of agricultural fields, and the planning of irrigation systems would have all benefited from precise metrology and geometric understanding. This aspect of his work, though less glamorous than temple design, was fundamental to social order and economic productivity. He provided the tools for organizing and managing the physical resources of the kingdom, ensuring fairness in land distribution and efficiency in its utilization. His contributions were not just about beauty, but also about order and utility. The legacy of figures like Shanku underscores the sophisticated understanding of practical mathematics in ancient India. While often intertwined with ritual or tradition, the underlying geometric principles were sound and effective. The ability to construct complex shapes, calculate areas and volumes, and apply geometric theorems to real-world problems demonstrates a high level of intellectual development. Shanku and others in his field laid the groundwork for later advancements in Indian mathematics and engineering, contributing to a tradition of innovation that valued both theoretical insight and practical application. He reminds us that science and art often walk hand in hand in the creation of enduring works. Reflecting on Shanku's role, we see the architect not just as a builder, but as a shaper of human experience. The spaces we inhabit influence our lives in profound ways, and Shanku's mastery over form and dimension would have contributed to creating an environment that was both functional and inspiring within Vikramaditya's domain. He was the gem who gave concrete form to abstract ideals, who translated mathematical precision into tangible beauty and order. His silent structural contributions formed the very stage upon which the dramas, poems, and philosophical debates of the other Navaratnas could unfold, a testament to the power of geometry to shape civilizations. Our journey now leads us into the intricate domain of spiritual law, ritual, and ethical guidance with Vitalabhata. As a learned Brahmin scholar, his role within Vikramaditya's court would have been of paramount importance, providing counsel on matters that touched the very spiritual and moral fabric of the kingdom. In an era where religious observance and adherence to Dharma were deeply interwoven with societal structure and royal legitimacy, Vitalabhata's wisdom would have been an essential compass for both the ruler and the realm. He represented the conscience of the court, ensuring that actions were aligned with higher principles. Vitalabhata is often associated with the interpretation and application of Dharma Shastras, ancient Indian texts that lay down codes of conduct, laws, and principles governing individual and social life. His expertise would have involved advising King Vikramaditya on matters of justice, royal duties, ethical governance, and the proper performance of religious ceremonies and sacrifices. These rituals were not mere symbolic acts, they were considered vital for maintaining cosmic order, ensuring prosperity, and securing divine favor for the kingdom. Vitalabhata's guidance would have ensured these were conducted with precision and according to scriptural injunctions. The influence of a figure like Vitalabhata would have permeated many aspects of courtly and public life. His interpretations of Dharma would have shaped legal decisions, informed policy-making, and guided the king in his role as the upholder of righteousness. In a society structured by complex social norms and duties, his counsel would have helped navigate intricate ethical dilemmas and maintain social harmony. Furthermore, his involvement in state-sponsored rituals and sacrifices would have reinforced the king's sacred authority and fostered a sense of collective identity and spiritual well-being among the populace. He was, in essence, a spiritual architect of the kingdom's moral framework. Some traditions also suggest Vetalabhata's involvement in the composition or compilation of ethical texts or didactic literature. These works would have aimed to impart moral instruction and wisdom not just to the elite, but to a wider audience, often through engaging narratives or aphorisms. The famous collection of stories, 25 Tales of the Vetala, though its authorship is debated and its current form is later, often features a king, sometimes identified as Vikramaditya, being posed with complex ethical riddles by a Vetala. While direct authorship by this Navaratna Vetalabhata is uncertain, the association highlights the kind of intellectual and moral puzzles such a scholar might engage with, using stories to explore deep questions of justice, morality, and human nature. The enduring legacy of scholars like Vetalabhata lies in the emphasis they placed on righteous conduct and the rule of law, albeit a law deeply intertwined with spiritual and cosmological beliefs. They championed the idea that power must be exercised with responsibility, that rulers have a sacred duty to protect their subjects and uphold Dharma. This focus on ethical governance and the importance of moral principles in public life remains a timeless ideal. Vetalabhata's role reminds us that a truly prosperous and stable society requires not just material wealth or military might, but also a strong ethical foundation and a commitment to justice. Contemplating Vetalabhata within the constellation of the Navaratnas, we see the crucial role of the spiritual and ethical advisor. In a court brimming with artistic and scientific genius, he provided the moral anchor, ensuring that the pursuit of knowledge and power remained grounded in principles of righteousness and collective well-being. His wisdom was not about discovering new stars or composing new verses, but about navigating the complexities of human conduct and societal order according to timeless values. Vetalabhata, the sage of Dharma, ensured that the brilliance of Vikramaditya's court was matched by its virtue. Our final exploration into this extraordinary assembly of minds brings us to Kshapanaka, a figure often associated with astrology, divination, and perhaps a more esoteric understanding of time and cosmic cycles. While Varahamihira mapped the heavens with a broad scientific and astrological lens, Kshapanaka's contributions may have delved into the more mystical or predictive aspects of celestial knowledge, reflecting an ancient human fascination with discerning patterns in the cosmos to understand destiny and the flow of time. His presence suggests the court valued diverse approaches to understanding the universe, including those that blended observation with intuition. Kshapanaka is sometimes identified as a Jain monk or astrologer, and his expertise likely involved intricate calculations of planetary positions, the interpretation of omens, and the forecasting of events based on astrological principles. In ancient societies, astrology was not merely fortune-telling, it was considered a sophisticated science, requiring deep knowledge of mathematics and astronomy. Rulers often relied on astrologers like Kshapanaka for auspicious timing of important state affairs, such as coronations, military campaigns, or the commencement of significant projects. His role would have been to read the language of the stars to guide the king's decisions and navigate uncertain futures. The influence of an astrologer like Kshapanaka in the royal court would have been considerable, albeit perhaps operating in a sphere distinct from empirical science, yet deeply respected. His pronouncements on auspicious and inauspicious times, his interpretations of celestial events like eclipses or comets, and his assessment of individual horoscopes would have carried significant weight. This reliance on astrological guidance reflected a worldview where human affairs were seen as intimately connected to cosmic rhythms, and where understanding these connections was key to ensuring harmony and success. Kshapanaka would have been a master of this intricate system of correspondences. Kshapanaka's work likely involved a profound engagement with the concept of time, not just as a linear progression, but as a series of cycles, yugas, and recurring patterns. Ancient Indian cosmology conceived of vast stretches of time, far exceeding the scales familiar to many other ancient cultures. Understanding these grand cosmic cycles and how they might influence earthly events would have been part of Kshapanaka's domain. This perspective, blending astronomical observation with philosophical and mystical insights into the nature of time, offered a unique framework for interpreting the past, understanding the present, and anticipating the future. The legacy of figures like Kshapanaka is complex. While modern science has diverged significantly from ancient astrological practices, the underlying human quest to find meaning in the cosmos, to understand our place in the grand scheme of things, and to seek patterns that might offer glimpses into the future remains a powerful driving force. Kshapanaka represents an ancient tradition of sky watchers and pattern seekers who, with the tools and understanding available to them, attempted to decipher the universe's subtle messages. His work highlights the deep human need for coherence and predictability in a world often perceived as chaotic. As we consider Kshapanaka, the mystic of time and celestial cycles completing the circle of Vikramaditya's 9 gems, we are reminded of the diverse ways humanity has sought to comprehend its existence, from the lyrical poetry of Kalidasa to the astronomical calculations of Varahamihira, from the healing arts of Dhanvantari to the grammatical precision of Vararuchi, and now to the astrological insights of Kshapanaka. The Navaratnas represent a holistic pursuit of knowledge. Kshapanaka's inclusion underscores an openness to various forms of wisdom, a recognition that the universe speaks in many languages, and that true understanding may require listening to them all. He was the gem who looked to the rhythms of the cosmos for clues to the unfolding drama of life. And so we've journeyed through the remarkable constellation of intellect that was Vikramaditya's Navaratnas. From the poetic grandeur of Kalidasa to the cosmic insights of Varahamihira, the healing wisdom of Dhanvantari, and the diverse brilliance of all 9, we see a testament to a golden age of Indian thought. These weren't just scholars, they were architects of culture, science and art, whose collective genius illuminated their era and cast a long, inspiring shadow into our own. Their story is a powerful reminder that the true wealth of any civilization lies in its capacity to nurture and celebrate profound thinking and creativity. The Navaratnas, in their varied disciplines, demonstrate that the pursuit of knowledge is a multifaceted endeavor, requiring poets as much as physicians, grammarians as much as astronomers. King Vikramaditya's vision in assembling such a diverse group highlights a sophisticated understanding that progress and enlightenment arise from the synergy of different talents and perspectives. Their combined contributions created an intellectual ecosystem where innovation could thrive, leaving an indelible mark on India's heritage and, by extension, on the world's treasury of knowledge. They teach us that investing in human intellect yields dividends that transcend empires and echo through millennia. The legacy of these 9 gems reminds us with enduring clarity that true lasting power resides not merely in the might of empires or the decrees of kings, but in the transformative force of ideas, in the brilliance of human ingenuity, and in the relentless pursuit of understanding. If the genius of these ancient masters has moved you, if their quest for knowledge has sparked your own curiosity, I invite you to like this video, subscribe for more journeys into the wonders of history and science, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Which of these remarkable gems would you most like to invite to dinner, and why? Thank you for joining me, Naresh Kukala, on this exploration, and as always, stay curious.